And ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to another Friday night game under the lights. Hallandale Beach Chargers take on the Dragons at Stranahan High Schools. We're here down on Pembroke Road in Hallandale Beach, Florida. We got a wet one out there. The field is soaked. Lightning delays are no more. We got a game coming to you, a little bit delay, 8 o'clock down here in South Florida. We thank you for joining us. Right now you are watching the coin toss here at Hallandale Beach. We thank you for tuning in so far, and we thank you for your patience. Once again, we are under a series of lightning delays here in South Florida in the Broward County area. You will get a chance to see the puddles on the field. I don't know if you can see them in the background, but it's going to be an interesting one. Coach Jones, head coach for Hallandale Beach, is going to give us an interesting one here at the home field, Hallandale Beach. And it looks like Hallandale Beach is going to receive the ball. Stranahan Dragons are kicking off tonight. My name is Ryan Stout, alongside Chris Jenkins tonight. Chris Jenkins on the field because Stranahan Dragons did not bring a roster. So we are putting together our own makeshift roster here in the booth. Chris Jenkins on the field with head coach trying to grab those names. We got the band, we got the DJ, we got two teams that have been patient and they are fired up to get out here on the field. At this time, we want to welcome all of our sports fans from across the globe, from across the nation. We're glad you could join us, and we want to recognize the people and the programs that make this broadcast possible tonight. PlayingTheRecruitingGame.com, StealthRating.com, the Keeping Dreams Alive Foundation, KDAFoundation.org, and Analogics.com. We want to thank all of our streaming partners, our partners that have been with us throughout the seasons with us here at HSPN. For our audience that are coming in from all different areas of the nation, we thank you. We want to give a big shout out to Bleacher.com. Florida High School Football, that is FloridaHSFootball.com. Florida Varsity, FLAVarsity.com. High School Football America, taking us over to the West Coast. That's highschoolfootballamerica.com. And our latest and greatest, Never Had a So Good Sports Radio.com. Last but never least, FloridaGridironPreps.com. We thank all of you for your participation in tonight's broadcast. We thank all the fans that have tuned in from those different platforms. And tonight we introduce a couple big-time Hallandale Beach players. Got some impact guys coming your way. This is Chris Cotto, number 9 wide receiver for tonight. On the defensive side of the ball, we have Dante Adams, our scholar athlete of tonight's game with a 4.3 GPA, also an impact player, Jalen Falk. And our last impact player, Correll Evans. You'll see him playing both ways tonight. A lot of big-time players out here on the field. Big-time games, big-time athletes. We covered Hallandale Beach last year for a couple games. Had a chance to talk about it with the coaches that were downstairs during this lightning delay. Had a good time covering that Boynton Beach game last year. It was an outstanding one. It was a one to remember. It was a playoff game. I don't think it was as wet, but it should be an interesting one tonight. Talked to Coach Jones, said he's got a lot of running action coming his way. Got to get situation up here in the box, and we're going to kick this game off. We're going to do it right. Chris Jenkins joining me on the mic. He's been running around trying to catch up with rosters and all sorts of goodness, but we got the majority of our stuff going. The wind is blowing. The fans are on. We got coaching staff up here with you.
Been a rough one. We're ready to go, I think.
We are ready to go.
And as
Morning, man. Okay, yeah, I had that for my recruiter today, but you'll send me another copy. He said you can have that. I'm working for both sides.
Oh, wow. That's what I'm talking
Yeah, no problem.
And we got a flag first play of the game, Ryan, so they're going to kick it off again. Of course, Stranahan coming in 1-1, taking on the undefeated Hallandale Chargers at their place. Of course, we had a big delay.
Big delay.
But we're ready to go. We got a real slide. They're going to be very key. The folks that don't know, the rainy season here in South Florida. Of course,
Gotta love the rainy season, and hopefully we can get this scoreboard going.
Dragons in white, of course, the home team in the maroon and gray. And they're getting another flag as they can't manage to get this one back to a suitable return right around the 25. So another flag on the play. And I think they're just going to mark this one off and get it going. So Stranahan coming into this one, as I said, 1-1. Uphill climb, uphill battle for them. And we'll get off into talking about them as we go. But Hallandale Chargers coming in undefeated, of course, ranked in the top 5. We got 2 5A squads. As we get to it, and definitely want to pay attention to the highly recruited Tyler Huntley. He'll be running things tonight as we got our flag on our first play. And this was going to be false start against the Chargers. It's going to back them up 5. So great field position to start off. Backed up 5.
One of the many highly recruited players here.
Yeah,
Talked to Coach
loaded.
Jones
Absolutely.
this week. Came down Wednesday, had an opportunity to talk to him about him, his players, the legacy that he's built here at this Hallandale Beach football team. 13 commits so far.
Stranahan could be in trouble. They definitely want to keep Huntley in check, according to Coach Adams, coming into his second season at Stranahan. So we get the first play, or second play, I should say, off officially no flag. So this one will stand, and it's a running play. And they're going to pick up about, we'll call it 2, just underway. First quarter action. Here from Hallandale, Florida, Chris Jenkins and Ryan Stout on the mics with you here on HSPN Sports. Wherever you may be listening or watching, we thank you for doing so. We got a good one tonight. A top 5 team in the state taking on the underdog Stranahan Dragons. And coming right into your screen. Second running play. You need to watch Zach Moses on the carry. 5'11", 202. Excuse me, Moss. Zach Moss on the play.
And it looks like we're still trying to get this clock figured out. We have the clock. We're using the clock that the officials are using. So I believe they have the clock running on the field, but the Daktronics aren't up yet.
So we got a 3rd down and 6, and Huntley scrambling for it, facing pressure. Rolls out, fires one off the fingertips of the intended receiver. They might have had something there. He was able to regroup, get that one off, but incomplete. Pass intended for number 18. 19, Akeem Hayes. Actually, Jawan Hardy. I'll get it right eventually. Jawan Hardy, the intended receiver on that play. So Hallandale forced to punt. But Stranahan wants to talk about, they call it first time out of the half. So that'll give us a chance to shake the cobwebs off and regroup a little bit.
It's been a little crazy down here. Had us locked in the actual field at one point. Didn't think we were going to be able to use the restroom. But yes, it's been a hectic night so far. The weather has kept us locked indoors. They locked both teams inside the gym, and they wouldn't let them out until that lightning delay. A very serious issue that we definitely deal with a lot here in South Florida.
Absolutely.
It's typical rainy weather. Got a soaking wet field down there, but it's been an interesting one. But got two great teams lined up here tonight.
Well, and you've already saw the weather be a contributing factor in one of those plays, as Huntley had to pick the snap up on the fly with the slick ball, was able to almost make something big come out of it. Stranahan holds, and they'll get their first possession coming up.
Well, it's like you said, Coach Jones talked about they're probably going to keep a lot of it on the ground tonight.
Yes, that was definitely one of the major things he spoke to, trying to control the clock, control possessions, etc. And they go for a fake. And shaking defenders, he won't get the first down, but got close, maybe within about 2 yards. I guess there's where they're going to officially mark him down. Just short of the 40. So a big surprise by Coach Jones.
You could either call it like this. They either called it because maybe they don't have the best kicking game, maybe because the ball is wet. Not too sure on that one, but unfortunately it didn't come up with the first down, and not sure if it's going to affect them in the long run, but we'll see with the Stranahan offense taking the field right now. And we finally got a roster, which is pretty cool.
Breon Jackson at the QB spot. And of course, Coach Jones didn't speak to a lot of the worries or concerns he had for Stranahan. Said they are a scrappy bunch. They've got some good key skill players, and they are starting out with great field position in Hallandale territory, 1st and 10 situation. 2 wides to the near, and of course 2 wides to the far. Jackson in the pistol, he'll keep it, and he might get back to the line of scrimmage and nothing more. So we are in the first quarter. As I said, trying to regroup a little bit here. A little bit over an hour delay in this one. We don't have an official time to give you.
We don't.
But we are still trucking along here. First quarter play, no score.
Right. The clock on the board, we don't know if that's official yet. We'll get that confirmed as soon as possible for you.
Jackson guns one over on that left hash, incomplete. Pass intended for number 4, Daywood Davis. So it's going to bring up a 3rd and long situation, and if you're Stranahan, you have to take the breaks when you get them, and they're not taking advantage so far. They've only gained 1 net yard so far in this one.
Almost looks like they're going backwards.
Yeah.
But, 3rd down opportunity. Good to see that they're going to open up the arm a little bit, but definitely need to move forward in terms of getting some offensive going.
And they decided to go with the little screen pass, and this one at the intended receiver's feet that time. Pass intended for number 3, Marcus Garvin. And wasted opportunity for Stranahan.
Right.
They were starting at the Hallandale 45, Ryan, and couldn't make anything out of it.
I was excited to see they had a couple passing plays in there due to the amount of water on the field, probably on the ball. It's nice to see they're going to open up the arm, but you have to convert on second and third down. First down, you need to convert. Negative yards are not going to win this game.
So the Dragons forced to punt on their first possession. Still no score. Here, first quarter play. And get this one off. A high wobbler. And taking it on the hop, but doesn't get anywhere. And that one is Chris Cotto. Back deep. And no return on the gamble, so that's going to put Hallandale in a little bit of a hole inside their own 10. We'll call it actually first and 10 from their own 6.
Chris Cotto, one of our impact players for tonight's game, alongside a couple, not just a couple, we're talking about 13 guys that are potentially going to do great things at the next level on the football field.
So second possession for Hallandale, and we got another timeout, Stranahan. So they use their second timeout here in the first quarter of play. They want to talk about it. I guess they didn't have the correct defensive personnel on the field.
Well, you had a chance to go down and talk to some of the head coaches. I had an opportunity to come out this week, talk to Coach Jones. 27 seniors, 6 juniors on paper. He said projected they're probably closer to 40 number in terms of how many seniors they have on this football team.
And we talked about that. That is amazing that a team can be that stacked from a senior standpoint. So it's all or nothing. We talked about the fact they got to go the distance.
Stranahan comes into this game, I believe, like you said, with nothing to lose.
Yes.
A couple coaches changings in the past years that we've been covering Broward sports. Overall, I believe they're trying to re-identify themselves.
Yes.
As a football team, find that identity, and be able to win some football games.
Coach Tally Adams in his second year went 4-5-1 last year. As Hallandale coming out the gates on a receiver pass, and I think he may go the distance. 40, 30, 20, forget it. Touchdown, Hallandale. A 96-yard touchdown catch and run, and that quick Hallandale's on the board. And that was number 5, Joshua Hammond, taking it the distance.
Wow. That's a race right there. That young man must run track because he took that thing down the sideline. You would think, I talked about this during the delay, this field is soaked right now. And I said, well, it's probably going to affect both teams, but I'm sure, Coach, you probably don't really appreciate it.
Yeah.
They said, no, the players actually like the field wet. It slows down the opponent. They know how to play on it because I guess they're playing on it every week.
And it's funny you say that because I just spoke about Coach Adams for this Stranahan team as the extra point is botched, no good. So it's officially 6-0 Hallandale. But in talking to Coach Adams, one of the things he said, we have to gang tackle. These guys can make plays quick, fast, and in a hurry. We have to be there to be able to make plays and swarm the football. Well, didn't work.
No.
Didn't work that time.
Stranahan actually coming into this game with a 1-1 record. A victory over Monarch and a loss over Dillard. The Monarch game 39-23. They came out on top. Dillard didn't lose by much. 2-possession game, 32-13. And Hallandale's coming in this 2-0.
Yeah.
With a win over Cedar Grove up in Georgia and a win over Dillard. So both played Dillard. One came out on top. Like you said early on, Hallandale's ranked. So they're going to be contenders, obviously, in this game. You said early on coming into the game, it'd either be a good matchup, it'd either be a really good matchup, or it's going to be a blowout.
Absolutely. And if you're Stranahan, you got to take advantage of the opportunities. Got their first offensive possession at the Hallandale 45. Couldn't make anything of it. They'll start their second offensive possession. We'll see where they spot it. I believe it's just short of the 30. We'll call it the 29, 1st and 10. You see if the Dragons can get on the board. 6-0 is the count. Extra point attempt, no good from Hallandale. 3 wide receivers to the near, 1 to the far. And they're going to try their own screen pass, and you can see the footy going quickly. Marcus Garvin couldn't go anywhere on the reception. They actually lost yardage on that play.
And
loss of about 4.
Stranahan's still not scared to open up the arm. The offensive game, once again, the field's wet. Jones said he's going to control it on the ground. Stranahan haven't had a chance to really follow the Stranahan team yet this year, but we might see some plays out of these guys in the air.
We'll see. They're definitely in a hole. They're facing a 2nd and 14 situation. Inside their own 20. On a very rain-soaked field here from Hallandale, Florida. Pitch sweep. Far side. Might have got 1. So that's still minimal gain. Still going to bring up a 3rd down and long situation for the Dragons. In a bit of a hole. We just saw how explosive this Hallandale team can be. They have to take advantage of the opportunities, and they did not do so. And there was a flag on the play, and I believe it was unsportsmanlike, so that's going to march it up and give Stranahan new life with really good field position. Just short of the 40 at the 39. They're on 39 with a fresh set of downs coming up.
The first positive yards out of the Dragons.
Yes. Unfortunately came via penalty, but they'll take it.
See what they can come up with. Opening up the playbook a little with a speed option. Trying to get around the end. Some good tackling over here at Hallandale Beach.
So Jackson in the pistol, facing pressure, hit, ball's on the ground, and they're going to call it incomplete. I guess they said his arm went forward.
Right.
No, so Tom Brady's. A major bullet there.
No Tom Brady's out here.
Yeah.
So arm was moving forward.
Officials timeout, I guess. They want to switch the footballs. And when we get back to action, ball be spotted just short of the 40 of Stranahan. 6-0 to score. The one score we do have for you, 90-plus yard receiver screen pass, and that was it.
Easy. Down the field, open up the stride, and he took it the distance. Ultimately, I mean, Coach Jones talked about keeping it on the ground most of the night, but hey, if you can pull off that number, that's just a great player making a great play, ultimately. You're doing your job. Guys on defensive side, they didn't execute, obviously, and he took it the distance. I mean,
Joshua Hammond just let it all hang out.
Yeah, it wasn't any fancy play. Typical screen, slip screen, the outside receiver.
Very high percentage completion. That's a very good point. Yeah. Just let his abilities take over. So Stranahan in a hole, down 6-0. Still first quarter of play. Jackson in the pistol formation. One back set. Goes across the middle. A nice defensive play. Jordan Roberts
And you don't want dudes to give me a favor right now.
Actually, Raymond Creighton got a finger or two on it. Had a good opportunity to pick that one off. Good coverage in the secondary for Hallandale. So we've got a 3rd and long situation, and once again, we'll see if the Dragons can take advantage of good fortunes and not blow another good opportunity. So they're going to keep it on the ground, which they have done few times, but getting across that far sideline with some real estate in front of him, knocked short of the 30. And Stranahan showing life once again in a 3rd and about 14 situation they convert.
I like the idea he had. He wanted to cut back, and potentially with a dry field it probably would have been nice. But on this wet field, no go. Got to keep those feet up under you. Great run. Great job of getting outside, hitting that edge, and using his speed to his advantage, taking the ball some positive yards down the field.
Antonio Shepard on the carry for Stranahan. And they got a fresh set of downs, trying to make something happen at the Hallandale 30. Jackson puts it up, incomplete. I believe that one was intended for Anthony Payton. And if you're Stranahan, Ryan, and you can get something going, get some points out of this, you have to feel very confident. You've got a little help penalty-wise, but they've been able to make some plays. That's something Coach Jones said that they can do. They have the skill positions to be able to do that. You just saw it. We'll see if they can keep it going. So 2nd down and 10 from the Hallandale 30. Jackson once again in the pistol, and they go with the little option to the far side. Hallandale not hearing it. A host of Chargers snuffing that out. And he probably lost about 2 yards on that carry. As we are winding down here in the first quarter play. 6-0 is the score on a little bit of a rain delay.
Yeah, Chris, like you said, there's no doubt we're going to see some big plays. We're going to see some mistakes because of the weather. You know, these guys are going to be able to compete. I think offense and defensively, the Hallandale side is going to be up there in terms of the better squad.
Yeah.
But like you said, Stranahan's coming to this game with nothing to lose. So potentially, we're not too sure where it's going to lead.
So big 3rd down situation. The 3rd and about 13 for Stranahan. The goal across the middle. A little slant route. Incomplete. Pass intended for Daywood Davis. 6'2", 175-pound senior. Couldn't make good on it. So once again, they're facing a 4th down situation. And you got to convert.
Still no fear. I love it. No fear in throwing the ball tonight.
They have probably run, I believe, maybe 3 times so far in this game. So heavily on the pass side for Coach Adams and Stranahan. And they're going to go for it in a 4th down situation.
What do you have to lose?
Absolutely. Ball spotted at about the 32. So they've got about a 4th and 13. And we got flags on the play before we even start. And this one will go against Stranahan and back them up. So a 3rd and 13 is going to turn into a 3rd and 18.
Remember, folks, everyone that's tuned in tonight, we thank you. And at any time during the broadcast, you want to tweet us at HSPN. Remember, that is at HSPN Sports. You can tweet us. We're all about giving shout-outs. We love to hear your comments. We love to hear what you think about the game. So at any time during the broadcast, send us a tweet. We'll give you a shout-out.
Cotto back to return. for Hallandale. So a 4th and 18, and Stranahan decides to give it back. And I want to say they took the delay of game to back it up 5 more yards. So 4th and 23, Stranahan will give it back. A little short pooch punt. And Koto's going to let it roll inside the 5. And we'll see where they spot it. Hallandale in a hole once again, but it didn't matter. On their second possession, they took it 90-plus yards to the house. And that was, to be precise, a 93-yard touchdown.
And I think the decision to take the delay of game was a pretty good decision.
Absolutely.
Put them back, knowing your punter. Not too sure they look like they're doing a rugby punt out there, but knowing your punter, knowing your skills and your abilities, able to get a great pooch in there. Put them within the 5-yard line.
They pinned Hallandale as a result of that, Ryan. Inside, they're on 5. They'll start out 1st and 10 at the 4, we'll call it. Huntley in the shotgun, low snap. They decide to give it up the gut. Got two defenders to beat, and splits them, and they held on by the skin of their teeth to get him down, or else it was another long run on the way. Big time game.
Big time speed.
Absolutely.
Like you said, almost split those 2 defenders right there. Almost saw a repeat what we saw their last possession, going the distance.
We'll see if Stranahan can keep their balance to get the swarming attack going, as Hallandale keeps it on the ground once again, starting from the 30. He's at the 40 now. Bowling the defender inside. No penalty? We'll see if it's inside the 30, but right into your screen. Zach Moss on the tote. And they're just chewing up huge chunks of yardage as you see him walking off the sidelines. Starting at their own 4, folks, and 2 plays later, and they are inside of Stranahan territory. And we see where they spot it. We'll call it the 35, 1st and 10 inside Stranahan territory. Huntley back deep, across the middle, and completes it. Hauling that one in, number 6, Damari Simpkins. And Stranahan back on their heels at this point. Ball spotted at about the 26, over the head on the snap. And Huntley trying to make something out of nothing, still on his feet, finally tripped up. Just a little bit over the original line of scrimmage. Will give him maybe 2 on the actual game.
I'm telling you, anything could happen in this game.
He was lucky to keep that one alive. And as we've said, the weather and the field conditions have been a factor. Only a 6-0 game.
I'd be interested to see what he would have done there without the wet field.
Oh, yeah.
He might have taken it the distance. Kind of reminds me of a little Stanford Samuel over there at Flanagan.
So a 3rd down situation. They decided to go with the run. Off guard. And I believe we got 6 on the board. Another 6. Touchdown. Chargers. Just like that, we've got a 12-0 contest. This one could get ugly if Stranahan's not careful. Extra point to come. Snap is back, kick is up, and blocked, it looks like.
I'll tell you one thing, they won't have to worry about extra points in this game if they keep putting up the points they have. 2 possessions, the last 2 possessions putting up some big-time points, going the distance with a 93-yard. First time around, second time around, they're going to drive the ball. Couple run plays, couple pass plays. And they're going to take it in for another 6. You got 12 points for the Hallandale Beach Chargers. Here late in the first quarter, this is another HSPNSports.com broadcast. We're glad that you joined us here in South Florida. We thank you from across the nation, across the world. We love our audience. And once again, remember, at HSPN on Twitter, at HSPN Sports, you're able to give us shout-outs. We love giving you shout-outs back. Ryan
we got
Stout.
a 12-0 score here, Ryan, and
it should be interesting.
Stranahan's going to have to try and make something happen on this possession. And they go with the little short kick close to an onside, so they got another gift, field position-wise.
Right, they've had great field position throughout the night. The last 3 possessions, if not in the Hallandale Beach territory, within the 50-yard line.
Absolutely.
Opportunities are available. There hasn't been too much conversions of first to seconds and the third downs, which obviously you need to put some points on the board to compete with this offense. It's really, what I'm really excited for is I know guys in the back of their head, these Chargers are getting ready for their big game next week.
Oh, that's St. Thomas.
St. Thomas Aquinas.
That will be a big one.
So I know they're focused in tonight, but deep down, I know they're getting mentally prepared for this game coming up.
So Stranahan looking good once again. Ball spotted almost at midfield for them. We'll call it the 43. Jackson gives the handoff. Hallandale all over it. We'll say he got back to the line of scrimmage and nothing more. Average field position for the Dragons, probably the 35 to 40 yard line, and they have not been able to convert thus far. Down 12-0 here in this one. Last few minutes, first quarter action.
And a big shout out to our European followers. Portugal and Spain tuned in tonight. Thank you for your support.
Absolutely.
Hope you're enjoying the broadcast.
Shotgun situation. Go with the screen pass in and out of the hands. And that was number 2, Anthony Payton. Might have had something if he pulled that one in. Once again, wet football as we got a chewed up field.
Yes. Real football weather.
Absolutely.
And pretty soon we're not going to be able to see Stranahan like you can see the running back right now. His jersey is brown because the field. And let me tell you something. The field isn't messed up just because of the rain that's going on today. This field is jacked up in general.
Oh my goodness.
When I came out here on Wednesday, I was stepping in puddles. Wore the wrong shoes. Came out in my flip-flops today.
So we got a third down and forever.
That's offsides.
And who jumped? Who did it?
That's going to be the running back. Running back's going to get a little antsy.
And this one's going to possibly be a false start against Hallandale. It is being marked off.
And that's number 13. Running back number 13 on the false start, getting a little antsy back there in the backfield. Probably getting the ball.
So ball spotted at about the 35. But they have to get to the 44 for a first down. So Stranahan in a hole once again. Jackson in the shotgun. He's going to roll to the near side. He's in your screen right now. He won't get enough. He's slung out of bounds just short of the 40, and they'll have to give it up once again. So 12-0 12-0 to score. Waning minutes of the first quarter of play here from Hallandale, Florida. Rain-soaked night. We had an hour or so delay before we got this one going, but we are here. Chris Jenkins, Ryan Stout, here on HSBN Sports. I'm glad you could join us. Got some international folks checking us out. We thank you for doing so, as
yes,
you just
sir.
mentioned a few moments ago, Ryan.
Love it. Going across the nation, going across the world. And another rugby punt.
Yeah, a high wobbler. Net's about 25-30 yards.
And a top team out here on the field tonight. Hallandale Beach, number 5. Is that in the state or in the nation?
I want to say that's in the state, according to
I'm going to say it's in the state.
Herald and Sun Sentinel.
I was going to say, top 5 in the nation. We might have gotten boot out of this game.
Yeah.
They might have had too many people in the box for the number 5
Now we've
team in the
seen
nation.
Flanagan crack the
Nation.
the rankings nationally. As we covered them.
Have some big time teams coming up, man.
Yes.
First couple weeks. This is week 4. Are we already in week 4?
So Huntley in the shotgun with 4 wides, 2 to the near and far. They're going to keep it on the ground, far side. Gain of about 11 on the play. That'll move the sticks, be a fresh set of downs.
Last time we were here was against Boynton Beach High School in the playoffs. Came down here. That game is still talked about to this day. Boynton Beach, probably the 2 most exciting games out of us last year was Boynton Beach overall with matchup against Coconut Creek and Hallandale.
Oh, I remember those. Definitely.
Lamar Jackson.
A lot of fireworks.
Lamar Jackson, the quarterback, now at Louisville, making some major moves.
Moss on that last carry, gain of 11. Huntley all day. Finally gets one off, and this one's complete. We may have a little something cooking. Finally tripped up. Ball spotted at the 29 of Stranahan.
That's going to be number 10.
To move the sticks and keep it moving.
It's going to be number
Hallandale.
10. Number 10 on the reception right there. And talk about all day long. At least 6 seconds in the pocket. Time to think about it. Make a cup of tea. Do whatever you wanted back there. Good.
Samuel Huntley on the reception.
You're going to call timeout on the field, and they're going to talk about it. Slow down that momentum, I guess.
And I believe they're out of timeouts as a result of that.
Well, Hallandale back-to-back possessions with scores on the board. As you can see, 12 points. That's because we've missed a couple of the extra points. But, hey, what does it matter if you're going to put up points back-to-back every time? Is that every time they touch the ball, they score? Or is that just 2 possessions?
I want to say 2 of the 4 possessions
they've
scored.
One outstanding catch, just a screen to the far side of the field. Wide receiver taking it, 93 yards?
93 yards.
And then a beautiful drive, last possession. Oh, that wasn't a timeout. That was
it's
the end of the quarter.
actually end of the quarter. So
Gotta
we'll
look at
catch
the
up
clock.
along those lines because we haven't had an official score on the scoreboard, I should say. We haven't had an official time to give you to know when the quarter would end, but it is officially in the book. So second quarter action coming up. Hallandale, 12-point lead. And this Chargers team so explosive that last series, I believe a 6-play drive, chewing up big-time yardage in the process, and as a result, they're up 12-0. Currently on the march as we start the second quarter of play, 12-0 to score, 2 missed extra points, but it probably won't matter in the end as they go with the run once again. Weaving through defense, 5-4-3-2-1, touchdown once again. Zach Moss to the house. A 31-yard gallop.
And we're getting some information on Twitter now. Shout out to Wayne W, which is at WEW612, giving us some updates on some of the Hallandale guys. multiple D1 prospects injured that are actually committed right now that aren't in the game. Tyler Huntley, QB, and wide receiver Simpkins to Utah commit, and Moss and Jackson to UM. Some big-time players out here on the field tonight with Hallandale Beach. We love it. Thank you, Wayne, for the updates. Keep them coming.
On center stage tonight, Hallandale making it happen, putting a spanking so far on the Stranahan Mighty Dragons.
Got to get Wayne on the mic.
18-0 to count, and I think Hallandale's going to consider possibly going for 2 here. Not much success with a new kicker, and have not made good on 2 failed extra point attempts. So 2-point, extra point, 2-point conversion. We'll get it right eventually. Coming up and getting it in.
He's going to walk into the end zone.
Zach Moss, yeah, pretty much just walk.
Just going to trot into the end zone.
So they tack on 2 more, and we got a 20-0 count.
Make it look easy here in Hallandale
Yes.
Beach. Like you said, Stranahan Dragons coming into this game, not much to lose, trying to create their identity. A couple of coaches changes in the past couple of years, but between the weather, between this offense, coming from Hallandale Beach, I don't know. It could get out of hand. 20 points on the board.
We may
for
be
Hallandale
looking
Beach
toward a possible run rule here. Coach Stranahan, 2 games into the season, averaging 26 per game. But when you give up 27 per game, that's not good. So a lot of the keys for Coach Tally Adams not working out so far, as they will get another shot at it, trying to get on the board. Little short kickoff, and once again they'll be in good field position. They're going to be short of the 30, and they've averaged between the 35 and 45 yard lines. Believe it or not, folks, every possession so far have not been able to convert, and they are in a 20-0 deficit.
It could get ugly.
Yes.
It's still early on in the game, only in the second quarter. Just opening up the second quarter. Finally got a clock on you, but if this offense doesn't convert and this defense isn't able to hold this offense, I mean, Moss is doing some outstanding things tonight.
11:48 to be exact on the clock. Second quarter of play. Dragons. Good field position once again. Spot the ball at about the 28. They're going to keep it on the ground. Near side here. Breaking tackle, still on his feet. Straddling that sideline. 1 man to beat. Popped out of bounds finally. So big time run. My man Marquell Dillard, I believe, on that carry, making it happen. And that is, once again, one of their skill players stepping up. But I don't think it's going to hold.
You could see the frustration in the running back walking back, because I believe so. They're taking them all the way back. Got a penalty on the field. Not sure what the call is yet. We're going to find the white hat for you.
That negates a huge play for Stranahan. An illegal block against the Dragons. That's going to kill them.
Great run. Outstanding ability to stay on your feet, breaking some tackles, taking it down the sideline, saved by the defensive back. But that is going to cost him.
That's a killer. That is a momentum and confidence killer, folks. Already down 20-0, 11:37 on the clock, so they'll mark off the illegal block, and that will negate about a 40-plus yard run by Dillard. We got a stoppage of play. Refs trying to discuss and figure it out. I'm not sure what's going on. We haven't gotten an official indication about anything yet. All we know is that play will not stand.
And now we know why no one's calling the game tonight. Wayne's keeping us up to date, and that's at WEW612. He and his brother are usually spotting and announcing the game. They called out sick tonight. Wayne, come on, man. We use the announcers to help us out with the numbers. Maybe that's why Stranahan didn't bring a roster today. That's high school football at its finest. Teams not bringing their rosters for us to call the games. But, hey, Wayne, keep us up to date on the Twitter. Thanks so much for the information. So, you got to be back out here for the St. Thomas game, though. Those guys are going to need you.
Yes.
They're going to need all the motivation they get.
That will be a big one next week. The number one team in the state, regardless of class, I believe for class 5A through 8A, they are number one and they are ranked nationally. So Hallandale will have their hands full next week taking on St. Thomas Quintus. So we're finally back to action now. A fumble snap, and I don't know, Hallandale may have fallen on it. We'll see as the bodies unpile.
I'm going to say it's a Hallandale ball.
Waiting on the sign anytime now. And I think Stranahan dodged another bullet and fell on it. I don't know how.
Based on what I saw, I wouldn't say that's Hallandale ball. We want to welcome our viewers from Black River Falls and also from Newport, Ritchie, and Jacksonville. Thanks for tuning in with us tonight. Big-time viewers for a big-time game with big-time players.
And if you're Stranahan, you got to get something going. So 3-back set for Jackson. 2 wides to the far, 1 to the near. But they are in a second down and 2 country miles. And gonna be thrown down. All the razzle-dazzle did not even matter. Stepping in there, making a big-time play. Not hearing it. Leonard Gurin. Big-time defensive play. So Hallandale snuffing it out and forcing a huge loss, backing Stranahan up inside their own 5. Facing a 3rd down and downtown Miami to pick up the first.
We're not even going to pull the calculators out. It is a long way, folks.
Coming up on the 9-minute mark here. They're going to go for it on the 4th down, and he's going to be close to the end zone. And we'll see if they mark it. It might be a safety. I didn't see the indication. Just short of the goal line.
Wow. Not too sure what the reason for the call on that play.
They tried to run to be specific, but got backed up even further. And this ball is spotted on the 1-inch line. That is where Stranahan faces a 4th down. So we're looking at a potential catastrophe coming up, folks.
Are they going for it? Are they going for the block? I hope they do. Give us something. Give us something to yell about.
Under 9 minutes now, second quarter play. 20-0 the score. High-powered Hallandale And he's not going to be able to get it off. Does by a hair.
I want to say he threw that ball.
Oh, my goodness. But nonetheless, Hallandale's going to have...
I'm not even sure he kicked that ball. It almost looked like he took both his hands and just tossed it.
Had so much pressure on him, barely got it out of there. But nonetheless, Hallandale is going to have a first down situation at the 22, we'll call it.
All Hallandale had to do right there defensively, at the ball, if it's in his hands, if he's not going to kick it, all you got to do is hit him. I mean, he's eligible to be hit right there. Just tackle him, man. I was excited, wanted to see something get blocked. I haven't seen a safety yet. And in 2 years, I don't think we've seen a safety.
We've got another timeout. And I gave the Mighty Dragons an extra timeout that they didn't use. They have officially used their third timeout at this point.
It was the end of the quarter, wasn't a timeout. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching high school football Friday night under the lights here in Hallandale Beach, Florida. Yes, the bottom of the map, South Florida, bringing you some of the top football teams in the nation. Hallandale Beach, one of the top teams in Florida, and I would say top teams in the nation. Putting out some great numbers so far this year. Had a bye week, but 2-0 coming into this game. Stranahan Dragons 1-1 in this game. Got a lot of big-time players out on this field that are committed to some major universities. This isn't a game that you want to miss. We thank you for tuning in from wherever you are tonight.
Hallandale coming in averaging 34 per game, but giving up 28 per game. So they definitely got to tighten up that defense. They have a goose egg on the board for the visitors so far, up 20-0, and they're going to start out 1st and 10 deep inside of Stranahan territory. Huntley gets a little screen pass near side, blowing off a defender inside the 10. Nice reception that time. And number 5, Joshua Hammond. So enough to move the sticks, and it'll be 1st and goal. Hallandale looking to put 6 more on the board. Already up 20-0. Just under 8 now, second quarter play. And we're going to have a running clock. It's just a matter of time unless Stranahan can pull something out of the hat, get some magic going. They've had their opportunities, great field position, but have not been able to convert. Huntley in the shotgun, barely completes this one. Great defensive stop. And coming in, stopping Kodo, I believe that was number 23. Now Keon Jackson
the Dragons not in a good position right now. Defensively, overall as a team, you do not want to let a Hallandale Beach team get away with this many points this early on in the game. We're not even, 7 minutes almost towards halftime.
This will demoralize a team. If they don't get it together, they will not. And almost untouched into your screen right there. Number 4, Mr. Zach Moss. Another 6 on the board. They're making it look too easy, Ryan.
A little too easy. Moss putting up some major numbers tonight, making the highlight reel look real nice. He said Coach Jones was going to keep it on the ground. He kept his promise. We're still starting to see some things up in the air as well. So, like you said, early on, it may be a quick one because they're going to run the ball. Well, it may be a quick one because they're going to run the clock because of the score. Pretty soon, that's going to give Hallandale Beach 28 points.
They add 2 more points on the 2-point conversion. Haven't been able to get anything on from an extra point standpoint, so they've converted 2 2-point conversions back to back now. And we got a 28-0 count. Just like that, folks. And still 6:48 on the clock in the second.
Shout out to the people that made tonight's broadcast possible. PlayingTheRecruitingGame.com, StealthRating.com, Keeping Dreams Alive Foundation, KDAFoundation.org, Analogics.com. Thank you for all your support, and we thank you, the viewers, for your support as well. These broadcasts are not made possible without your support, and we thank you for all the support that you give for these student athletes. That's why we are here tonight. Regardless of what the score may be or the team, we're here to put a spotlight on the student athlete.
Anthony Payton and Daywood Davis, the returners, don't get a shot at it. They kick it to one of the ump men. So decent field position once again up around the 20s. Will Stranahan will start 1st and 10, but they are in a huge hole, down 28-0. Facing the mighty Hallandale Chargers. Here from Hallandale Beach, Florida, Chris Jenkins and Ryan Stout here on HSPN Sports.
So our source of information tonight, Mr. Wayne, and that's on Twitter at WEW612. He's got Hallandale is #1 in the state in 5A, but according to the Miami Herald, #5 in Dayton, Broward area of all schools. So,
okay,
number one in our hearts.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. Little bias going on.
#1 in our hearts, but hey.
Nonetheless, they are still rocking and rolling. One of the top squads in their class, without question. Stranahan on the carry. Maybe a gain of 1. Swallowed up by several Chargers. And we've got an injured Charger. We'll try and see who that is.
I'll tell you, though, this isn't one to miss. Hallandale Beach, not only putting up some serious numbers, but I'm real excited. I'm not going to lie, I'm already in next week. St. Thomas Aquinas, top team in the nation, taking down the big-time names like a Booker T. Washington. Though Booker T. isn't what it used to be. I'm excited to see what happens next week.
That is going to be a big-time matchup.
It's going to be a great one. Now, we don't know what the conditions will be like, but regardless, 2 high-powered teams, St. Thomas doing some outstanding things this year.
And I asked Coach Jones, if it was going to be difficult to look past this Stranahan team. He was honest. He said, no, we're going to, do what we got to do, but we know what's coming up.
Right.
There's no question about that. So. And that is Corey Johnson, the senior linebacker, injured on the play. And he's up under his own power walking off the field, so hopefully he'll be back. So back to action. Coming up on the 6-minute mark, 28-0 to count. Hallandale putting it to the visiting Stranahan Mighty Dragons. They're going to keep it on the ground. Little option action initially. Decide to keep it, did Jackson. And I don't even think he got back to the original line of scrimmage on that play. It's going to be a loss of about 2. So we've got a 3rd down, and we'll call it about 13 for Stranahan. Three wide receivers set. And 2 backs in the backfield with Jackson to decide to keep it conservative on the ground. And we'll give him maybe 1 or 2 on the play. So a 4th down situation. And once again, potential disaster to possibly come for Stranahan. Facing a 4th and long, looks like they're gonna try and punt this one away.
And it only looks like they got back to the line of scrimmage. Another punt situation, never a good situation at this point in the game, with the score being, looks like a fresh jersey in there at the punting position. I'm not sure if it's the same guy.
28-0 to score. Cotto back deep for Hallandale. Barely getting this one off. This one's a low wobbler, maybe a net of about 25 yards or so. And Hallandale looking good. Starting field position for them is going to be the 42 of Stranahan. Not their own 42, the 42 of Stranahan. 1st and 10. So here we go. Huntley in the shotgun. We got 2 wides to the far and near, right in the middle of your screen, pretty much. Trying to add to that 28-0 lead. Coming up on the 4-minute mark, they're going to go long and deep. Slant route, touchdown, Hallandale. One play, 42-yard touchdown. And what can you say?
I'm laughing because that young man, the celebrations, 2015, from the NFL to college football, celebrations change all the time. This young man went up to meet him up top, and it's wet out here.
Yes.
Celebrations didn't work out so well. Young man slipping and sliding all around.
And I believe that was Chris Cotto on the reception. 42-yard reception. And not much resistance. And we are at the run rule. And we'll see if the 2-point conversion is converted as they go for 2 once again. Huntley has some pressure, tries to go with a little fade route, incomplete, so they do not convert on their 3rd 2-point conversion attempt. They don't need the extra points. Up 34-0, 4:25 on the clock here in the second.
Haven't seen an extra point all night, just 2-point conversions. Bad punts, not the best of special teams that you're going to see out here today. But, hey, can you blame it on the conditions? I will. But ultimately, like you said, Hallandale Beach, they're at a point they don't really need the extra points.
No, they don't need the points. Hallandale all over the visiting Stranahan Mighty Dragons. And they are well on their way to pulling to 3-0, coming into this one undefeated. And, of course, ranked in the top 5 in the state of Florida. 2 5A squads going at it, and we've got a lopsided one. 1-1 Stranahan, and I don't think you're going to be picking up their second victory unless they got some miracles to pull out of the hat in the second half. Low kick, finally picking it up on the hop, and immediately tackle. Nice defensive stop. Nice wrap up by Lynn Voss Sutherland. We could see a lot of folks getting some game time that may not ordinarily here in the second half.
Got some Texas on the station tonight. Beaumont, Texas, we welcome you to the broadcast. Thank you for joining us, checking out some of the stuff going on in South Florida. I'm a South Florida native myself. I know, Chris, you take it out to the Midwest, Oklahoma, just neighbors of Texas. So
yes.
I'm not going to throw you in that South Florida bin, but hey, you've been out here a while.
Of course.
So
I'm a Floridian. I would consider myself so.
Gotta love the competition, though. Texas, California, South Florida. The debate is always up for topic. I'm always one to get into it because, hey, South Florida native, just Florida in general, we're putting out some top athletes.
Oh,
I mean, we got 13 on the field right now, and guys that aren't even playing tonight. Come
without
on, Wayne, talk
question,
to 'em.
year after year. You are seeing some of the best athletes in the state, particularly on the Hallandale side, competing. Stranahan trying to stay in it, but it is not looking good. Down big time, 34-0. They're going to keep it on the ground with a run and maybe gain one on the play. It's going to bring up about a second and still about 7. Coming up on a 3-minute mark here in this one, 34-0 to count. Hallandale Chargers showing why they are one of the top-ranked teams in the state.
And just to confirm, get a little action on Twitter, Hallandale did win their Georgia game. They're coming into this game 2-0. We got a little talk here about some of the ranking situations.
Debate.
Look,
Are we 4? Are we 3?
It's nothing but love.
So a 3rd down and about 7 situation. It is convertible. Jackson scrambling, trying to break tackles, and a host of Chargers finally getting. So it's going to bring up a 4th down and long situation now. So just under 2 now left in this one, and not a whole lot to say. If you are a Stranahan Dragon who's trying to hang in, maybe get into the half, make some adjustments, and try and get on the board, down 34-0.
Now, Chris, let me ask you this. Have you ever heard of Choctaw, Arizona?
No, I have not.
I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. But we got some viewers that came in from Arizona. I want to say it's Choctaw. C-H-O-C-T-A-W. I've never been to Arizona, so I don't know. My accent, my dialect
That
might be
is
off.
Choctaw, because there's a Choctaw, Oklahoma. So I believe that is the way you pronounce that. It's
Okay.
Choctaw.
Well, we welcome you to the broadcast. We're glad that you're coming in from Arizona, checking out some South Florida action.
And we got a stoppage in play. Not sure what's going on, but the bleeding needs to stop if you're Stranahan. So let's get it. Let's keep it moving here.
Absolutely. Gonna have to do some big time strategy changes.
4th down
during this
situation,
halftime.
and they just get this one off just so that it doesn't get blocked. And picking it up on the hop is Cotto. Fumble on the play. We'll see if Stranahan was able to recover. Maybe they'll catch a break. No. Hallandale recovers.
Close.
Cotto trying to pick that one up on the hop. Took a little chance. Almost backfired.
Close.
1:27 on the clock. And Hallandale in business once again. They're at the Stranahan 35, 1st and 10. Will they push another one in before the half?
High school game day, powered by HSPNSports.com. We thank you for joining us. Got some new viewers. Forest Park, GA, the South. Get a little South in your mouth. Got George on the broadcast. We welcome you to another South Florida's finest.
Huntley in the shotgun, goes with the screen. Right in your screen, pushing off a defender. Get off me.
My goodness.
Y'all already know, big boy, y'all go up, Mr. Bubble.
And
My
he
goodness.
got close to 1st down yardage. Actually got 11 on the play we'll give him. That'll keep it moving.
Having a little fun out there. Give him a little head move here and there.
So Hallandale trying to punch another one in before the half. Coming up on 1 minute mark, we got a stoppage in play. Flags on the play.
Speaking of Oklahoma, look who joined us. We got some Choctaw, Oklahoma on the broadcast now.
Okay. Choctaw in the house.
Choctaw, big shout out.
Did not know there was a Choctaw, Arizona. Definitely knew there was a Choctaw, Oklahoma. So we got both.
Well, maybe that's our back end guys. I don't know. They may be getting the analytics wrong. Who knows? But regardless, wherever you're tuned in from, remember, Twitter, we're on the feed right now. We'll give shout outs. We love the support you guys are giving.
So offsetting penalties as the snap goes over Huntley's head, picks it up on the fly, in the end zone, no, incomplete. He had it, but dropped it. We might blame that one on the weather too, possibly.
Blame it on the weather, forget that. That was a heck of a play right there.
Little brother Samuel Huntley dropping that one from his big brother.
That was a heck of a play right there.
Picked that one up on the hop, in rhythm, floats it in the back of the end zone, and his little brother couldn't hold on to it.
That was some brotherly love going on there. That's what Wayne was talking about.
Tyler trying to help his little bro out.
We get it. Now we get it,
And
Wayne.
he dropped it. So second down situation. They keep it on the ground. Shaking defender still rolling. Moving forward, I believe number 25, Jordan Roberts, on the carry. So as I said earlier, Ryan, we may start seeing some fellas get some game time that wouldn't normally. But this is a very senior-laden team.
It is.
Tremendously deep along those lines with upperclassmen. Huntley going back in the end zone and on the catch, but out of bounds. Number 6, Damari Simpkins making it happen. Great catch. Didn't have enough real estate though to come down inbounds, and that'll stop the clock with 28 seconds left. 34-0 to count. And will Hallandale have to settle for 3?
Ooh. I'm not sure. We've seen him kick it. We've seen
that's
him kick
a very
it.
good point.
We've seen him kick it. It just hasn't been successful yet tonight. So I highly doubt that they'll have to go for 3.
So they have it marked second down. Huntley in the shotgun. Fires another one. Slant pass. And forget about it. No way really to defend that. Even on the pro level, it's a difficult route to defend, and Damari Simpkins takes it in.
Slants for days. Corner, what's the number 1 rule? Protect the inside. Keep them outside.
Jam them. Yeah, you got to create some room for yourself to make a play on the ball, and did not happen there. Simpkins takes it in. Another score on the board.
40
and
points.
2-point conversion coming up.
40 points on the board for Hallandale Beach Chargers.
This one has officially gotten ugly, folks.
It has gotten ugly. What did you expect? We don't know.
And they get it into the opposite corner of the end zone, convert the 2-point conversion. That's 2 more. So we're at 42-0, and I think that is the last play of the first half. And we are officially at the halftime break. Wow.
40 points on the board for Hallandale Beach Chargers. The Dragons coming into this game with nothing to lose, 1-1. A win over Monarch, a loss to Dillard. Both teams coming into this game playing Dillard. Hallandale coming out on top against Dillard. Went up to GA. Had a bye week, and now back home on this muck of a field. After an hour-long lightning delay, locked these kids up in the gym and expected them to sit around patiently. They were amped up to get back out here after an hour. Back on this field, now putting 40 points on the board. here in South Florida on HSPN Sports. We thank you for tuning in tonight. We are walking into this halftime, and hey, don't leave it, because guess what? South Florida, big-time football includes big-time bands. We're going to keep the mics alive for you. We got Stranahan, one of the original schools in Broward County, going way back. Hallandale Beach also been around for a while, but two outstanding bands. Make sure you stay tuned. We're going to take a quick break. Ryan Stout alongside Chris Jenkins bringing you all the action. This isn't one you want to miss. Why? Because we got some outstanding players. 13 commits going big time in the next coming years. We got some big time ball players. We got a big time team out here. This is HSPN Sports. You're watching South Florida football under the lights. We'll be right back. And once again, we welcome you back. 12 minutes on the clock here in the third quarter, just breaking out through the first half. We got high school game day. Hallandale Beach Chargers taking on the Dragons of Stranahan High School. We're here in Hallandale Beach. We're calling it the Muck Bowl tonight because this field is torn up from all different sides, all different faces. We got 42 points on the board for Hallandale Beach Chargers just coming out of halftime. Thank you so much for the bands giving us that halftime performance. The Chargers are kicking off to the Dragons. Ryan Stout, Chris Jenkins here on the broadcast. We welcome you back to the second half of play.
And we actually got a clean jersey making something happen over the far side. And Stranahan coming out on fire. That's exactly what they needed. Daywood Davis.
Some good motivation.
Excellent run.
That was, I don't know, they might get some momentum going here. It's still an ugly game. We got a running clock, 40 points. It is, some watching right now would say, hey, this game is over, but you know what? The game ain't over until it's over. These guys are still going to play for pride.
Of course.
Ultimately.
One possession at a time is really all you can do, and I'm sure that's what Coach Adams has said to his team. Play with some pride. Play with some unity. That is definitely one of the things that he stressed. You know, he said coming into this game, we have to get the details down to a science. We have to swarm. We have to wrap up. And they haven't been able to do any of that.
Right. Once again,
big plays galore is what we've seen. And some of the sting will possibly be taken out. As you said, Ryan, we do have a running clock. So we'll see. But Stranahan in business on an excellent return.
they're still in the fight. I think they're still in the fight in terms of, hey, they're going to come out here and they're going to try and put some points on the board ultimately.
And they're going to start out 1st and 10 from the Hallandale 35. Flags on the play though, so false start's going to back them up 5.
Right. Once again, Stranahan, as far as we know, has had a couple of coaches changing in the past, I would say 5 years. So big thing for them is, just rebranding themselves as the Dragons.
Some continuity.
Right, some consistency in play. Coming out here, they're 1-1. They came out over top over Monarch. Monarch, not too long ago, was a contender, playoff contender. So
a team that went 4-5-1 last year. So, they have an opportunity to still do some things as they go with the run.
And once again, there's plenty of competition within the Broward County area. These guys, they're matched up correctly. I mean, their districts, some of them you could say, okay, it doesn't make much sense, but ultimately, these guys are competing at a high level. It's still South Florida sports. These guys are more than capable, not only as a team, but individually, to be able to compete at a higher level in terms of, we're going to see some of these guys go to the next level of sports, college. Now, on the Hallandale side, Coach Jones has built what some people would call a legacy, a dynasty, whatever you call it. 13 commits on this team so far. What we know, we're getting some information from the folks out there that some of these guys aren't even playing tonight. But overall, great. I mean, regardless, it's a fun game. It's fun to watch. I can only imagine what it looks like on the other end of the camera, but these guys are slipping, they're sliding. We get fumbles, block punts, safeties.
The funny thing about that, though, is we haven't seen turnovers be a huge deal tonight.
Not at all.
On such a chewed-up field.
Not at all. I think the biggest thing for Stranahan is they just hadn't been to convert on those first, second, and third downs.
Yes.
I mean, they're putting themselves in this position where 3rd and 10, 4th and 10, well, they're just getting back up to the line because they're going negative.
Yeah.
So, a lot of success more on the end of the Hallandale Beach Chargers. Stranahan still trying to figure it out, I think. And what we've seen.
And as you just mentioned that, they shot themselves in the foot once again. They face a 3rd and short situation.
Well, the penalties don't help ever.
Absolutely.
In any type of situation. We've seen a couple of flags thrown tonight. more than I want to say more than we've seen, but when you're covering Flanagan football,
yes,
those guys they're intense, and nothing against the Falcons, but some of the biggest penalties we've seen all year. It's only in week 4.
It can get outrageous, of course. We've seen that early on. So just to correct myself, that was a first down on a penalty against Hallandale. And they decided to go with a run on the automatic first down.
And it looks like direct snap right to the running back or the quarterback. Can't tell really at this point. Just going to take it up the field. We've seen some success. They still have some pretty athletic individuals out there that can make some plays. Saw a fresh jersey coming into the second half. I want to say it was number 4, taking it the distance down the field.
Well, Davis, it looks like he got a new jersey.
Okay.
Because he's made some plays. He got a new jersey, and we got another penalty that's going to march Stranahan even closer, so they may get on the board here, folks. We are in the third quarter of play. It's a 42-0 count, and already under 6:30 on the clock. It is a running clock to start the second half, but Stranahan showing a little pride as they are on the march currently. 2 penalties on this particular series, and that has them right around the 10. They decided to go far side on a run.
And just to give you an update coming into this second half, you're wondering why there's 42 points on the board? Well, one of the biggest reasons is Moss, the running back for the Hallandale Beach Chargers. This young man has done outstanding things from the beginning, from kickoff until now. I mean, first half putting up some serious stats, and one of the biggest reasons why they have 42 points on the board now.
Absolutely. This young man stacked, folks, at the running back spot. 5'11", 202. So he's
got some beef on him.
He's taller than the normal or average running back, particularly on the
I'd say
pro
average
level, but even on college level, 5'11" is pretty tall. But already over 200 pounds, so they can shape and mold this kid. And
well, we've seen multiple times tonight. Literally, he was almost able to walk into the end zone.
Yes,
that's what's the biggest surprise for me, is the fact that some of these touchdowns, I don't know, a little iffy in terms of Stranahan defense not really executing at all. Moss literally almost being able to walk into these end zones. So, it's either the athletic ability is just tremendous, a giant gap, or, guys aren't executing on the defensive side of the ball.
Maybe kind of mailing it in a tad when you face the kind of deficit that they face. But then you look at the quarterback spot, and according to Coach Adams, that was the big concern coming in, was trying to stop Tyler Huntley. He said he's actually found his legs, is one of the things he said to me in speaking prior to the game, meaning he's got a rocket arm, but the running game, the running aspect of his game has started to catch up, according to him, and he's made some plays himself. Low snaps, high snaps. Yeah. He's still been very controlled, and done some really good things.
And the interesting thing is, we had a chance to see his brother out there, little connection, almost in the back of the end zone. Slipped out of his hands at the last second. Didn't have much real estate. Regardless, another fresh jersey. It looks like his knee is going to touch the ground. Going to get that number for you. Well, I would say it was a fresh jersey.
Samuel Huntley, the younger brother. That's who you were speaking of.
Correct. Yeah, these guys, Huntley, quarterback Huntley, Tyler. From my understanding, we had some information committed, I want to say committed to Utah.
Okay.
So, regardless of where it is, he's going to take his talents to the next level of football, especially the collegiate level. Someone's going to be very pleased with this young man. So, he's shown it tonight. I haven't seen too many mistakes on the Hallandale side.
No. They've been able to cover big chunks of yardage with big plays, which is exactly what Coach Adams and Stranahan did not want.
Right. You know, we may find they'll go back on film tomorrow morning and see individual mistakes, stuff they can work on, because like we've been talking about, big game next week, high expectations. I would say a nationally, ranked St. Thomas team coming over here to the Muck Bowl.
Yes.
Now, St. Thomas, like we were talking about during halftime, Coach Roger Harry doing some outstanding things with those young men, has had great success, college level and high school. His previous position was at the university school, taking those guys to the state level, state championship level. Now looking forward to put these guys in another championship position at St. Thomas Aquinas. These guys are going to come out here next week. I think there's going to be some serious debate to say, okay, Hallandale Beach, number 5 for the Herald and 5A, but can St. Thomas, do what they do best? Can Hallandale compete? I guess that's the question we
Absolutely.
ask.
That is going to be huge. Will they have enough discipline to stay in it, not hurt themselves? We're back to action, and Stranahan is on a long, drawn-out drive, and this is the deepest that they've gotten in Hallandale territory. Got a little help with a few penalties on this series, and they try and go through the pass, and incomplete on the pass attempt.
Great defense. Great defensive play by that defensive back right there, and it looks like they're going to call another timeout. Trying to stop that clock as much as possible. Once again, running clock on the board.
So they got to be fast about what they're doing. Unfortunately, running clock even with timeouts. And we're just about at the 2-minute mark already here in the third quarter play. Still 42-0 is your score. Hallandale Beach Chargers on their home turf, handling business, looking like they're on the verge of going to 3-0, of course, and facing a overwhelmed Stranahan squad that went for it on 4th down, had to give it up as they got inside the 10 and could not convert, Ryan. And now Hallandale going back the other way. They're going to be penalized, though, on a false start. So that's going to back them up, just to let you know what's going on in the field.
Yeah, 42 points can go a long way in this type of game. It puts you in a position where ultimately success, you're able to rotate guys in the game. At this point, I don't know. As a coach, Coach Jones, I'm not sure where they are in terms of depth. We talked about the amount of seniors that they have on this football team. It's almost unheard of. I've never heard anything like it. Coach talking about potentially getting close to that 40 number for seniors, but we may get to see some guys rotate into the game, some second team, third team guys.
And they keep it on the ground and still breaking tackles, busting through defenders.
And we've seen Moss run the ball tonight. And it looks like we got another running back in the game, number 25, making some big-time moves.
Jordan Roberts.
Yep. Some big-time moves from the running back positions.
And he is yet another senior on this team, a 5'10", 180-pound running back. Got a little gain in the first half, but he will probably get a lot of carries here in this second half. And you have to wonder how much longer Tyler Huntley's going to stay in this one.
Well, at this point, as a coach, I would start pulling guys. Only negative about it is Coach Jones got 50 guys on a roster.
Yeah.
How many guys can you pull without, bridging that gap?
Yes.
Like you said, 42 points, we can go a long way. With 42 points, you got plenty of cushion, but ultimately, you don't want to get guys injured. We're in week 4. They already had their bye week. So that's out of the question. These guys are full steam ahead the rest of the season, and it's not an easy schedule. Got St. Thomas coming up next week, so a lot to think about.
Determine a lot. even though it is just will just be their 4th game of the season. Had a bye week last week, did Hallandale.
Well, it's like you said, with this many seniors, on paper we have 26. Coach said, possibly get up in that 30 number as well, maybe close to 40. That's a lot of guys, seniors. Is this season all or nothing for Hallandale?
Well, you have to think that it is. You have to. We kind of alluded to that a couple of times, and the fact that they've got as many seniors as they have, you think automatically the sky's the limit. You want to go as far as you can. You have that experience, so you got to make it happen. It's all or nothing. And we'll see if Hallandale can put some more points on the board. They're going to go with another quarterback right into your screen on the scramble, picking up positive yards. Damari Simpkins entering the game at the QB spot. They have him listed as a wide receiver, but he is 6 foot 180. My size and height, exactly.
There you go.
I don't know if I had this kind of speed though.
Man, Damari Simpkins, that name sounds so familiar. If someone could help me out on Twitter, anybody that's watching the game, where did this young man, has he been at Hallandale, or is he a transfer? Damari Simpkins, that sounds like a name I want to say from Miramar High School.
You've heard before.
I want to say that is the name coming from Miramar High School. So whoever's out there listening, Google it. I don't have enough hands. Hit us up on Twitter. Let me know, because that name sounds very familiar.
And there was a penalty on that play, so the positive yards negated. I believe it was a holding penalty. So that's going to back Hallandale up. Simpkins still in at QB. They give on the running play and bowing over defenders, but nice wrap up at the same time. Number 18 on the wrap up. Good defensive play. Jamal Ruffkin holding on for dear life. Got the tackle. Minimal gain. As we are in the 4th quarter play, officially coming up on the 10-minute mark. 42-0 is your score. Here from Hallandale Beach, Florida, Chris Jenkins and Ryan Stout on the mics with you here on HSPN. Thank you for tuning in. We've had folks chiming in from all across the country and outside of the country as well.
We had Europe tune in tonight, Portugal and Spain. I'm interested to see. I'm just interested to see what kind of viewers we have.
Simpkins keeping it, pushing off a defender, gets what he can and gets out of bounds.
That's got to be the Damari I'm thinking about from Miramar High School.
Nice run by the senior. So that'll be enough to move the sticks, and we'll see if Hallandale can punch another one in. We've had a running clock since the start of the second half. Hallandale coming out on their second series and taking it 93 yards to the house, and they have not looked back.
And I'm glad you brought that up.
First big play of the contest and Avalanche.
Yeah, Avalanche, 93 yards, taking it down the field. One of their first possessions of the game.
And Simpkins decides to put it up in the air. Far side, incomplete on the pass. We do have a shaken up Dragon. And he's finally up. So Damari Simpkins in at QB. And we haven't talked too much about our impact players because there's been so many other big plays being made by.
There are a lot of impact players.
Such a talented team.
I'm glad you said that, because we're going to bring our impact players back up in just a minute. We just got confirmation. Thank you, Wayne. Correct. Damari Simpkins, I do remember, was one of the quarterbacks at Miramar High School.
Okay. All right.
Was a quarterback, and I remember that. Not just because I was a quarterback, but he was one of our impact players coming into the Miramar.
Gotcha.
I want to say Miramar. I can't remember what game we covered then, but
well, we thank you for the help nonetheless. You knew what you saw, and it was just confirmed.
Well, Wayne's helped me out too. My man Wayne.
Thank you for the scoop, Wayne. Under 8 now. 42-0 still a count. Hallandale on the march. New QB We've been talking about him, Damari Simpkins. 3 wides to the near, 1 to the far. Going with the little audible action. Getting the play from the sidelines, and he is in the shotgun formation. 1 back set. Looking, has time, gets one across the middle, complete, and that'll be enough to move the sticks. Close to the 20. We'll see where they mark it. And Hallandale getting close once again. Under 7 now remaining in regulation. Running clock since the start of the 3rd quarter. And we've talked about it several times. This Hallandale team will be coming in undefeated, facing St. Thomas, another undefeated team. 2 top 10 teams in their class going at it. In the waning minutes here in this one, only thing left to answer is what will be the final score. Hallandale keeping it on the ground, staying in bounds. And on the carry that time, number 22, Tariq Foster. He's a junior, so one of the few underclassmen on this team, 5'10", 180, junior, getting a little action on the carry. And a holding penalty will bring it back. So ball's spotted at the 35, we'll call it. And we got a timeout on the field. Still running clock. And it's finally stopped, actually, 5:39.
Ref's going to take his own time. Ref's going to take a little bit of his own time. Once again, we thank you for joining us tonight. We thank you for the support because you're really supporting these kids. Ultimately, HSBN here to put a spotlight on all the student athletes that hit the field tonight. It is up to them. We tell them after we're done broadcasting, they need to go home, they need to share it because they need the exposure. Regardless if they're Division I, Division III, NAIA, or if they're not even on the radar, these athletes are given a chance, and we want to help support that. So when you hit that share, when you have that support, it is only benefiting these student athletes on the field. So we thank you.
So back to action, coming out of the timeout, flags down, and we got a false start. That'll back Hallandale back 5 more. But coming up on the 5-minute mark, we still got a 42 goose egg score for you. Hallandale showing why they are ranked in the top 5 in Class 5A.
We got some new viewers. We got some new viewers, and we want to give you a shout out from Denver, Colorado, the Mile High. Big shout out to these guys, and also Richardson, Texas. Thanks for tuning in with us tonight. We thank you for your support.
High snap for Simpkins. Holds on to it, decides to tuck it over the far side. Gets close to the 30 and gets out of bounds just short of it. We'll say he's out at about the 32, 33.
And I'll tell you something, Damari Simpkins, not sure where he is on his recruiting, in his recruiting process. This young man can play.
Absolutely, yes.
It was actually a starter, was competing for the position at Miramar, I want to say last year. And not sure when he transferred or what the actual story is, but bottom line is he was an impact player on our broadcast, so hopefully we see him play at the next level. I know he's sharing time with Huntley, so
yeah,
it's hard to say, hey, let me get some time.
Of course,
when Huntley's putting up some serious numbers.
But nonetheless, he has a great opportunity to be seen and do very well as you see him in the shotgun, getting a little pressure, slides past it, floats this one up, And there's a flag, and they're going to possibly call interference. We'll see how this one shakes out. But you've got so much talent and so many upperclassmen on this Hallandale team that it's hard for anyone to get some shine. Like I said, we've hardly mentioned our impact players. But you've got Chris Cotto. He stepped up big tonight. You've got Dante Adams. You've got Correll Evans. And, of course, our scholar athlete making it happen in the classroom and on the field, Jalen Falk.
4.3
Very
GPA.
impressive. Very impressive. 4.3 GPA. That's handling your business.
And they're going deep down the field. It's going to get a pump fake and going to come up with nothing. And we want to make something, take a little time to put something out there. We know you guys are hearing a lot of music in the background. We got a DJ, cutting the ones and twos, whatever you want to call it. We want to make sure that you know, and especially for YouTube as well, that we do not claim any rights to this music. We are not playing the songs. We can't manage what is happening within the booth, what is said in the booth. Like we said, we have coaches up here with us as well. We have announcers. We also have DJs, so we want to just make that clear. We don't claim rights to any of these songs that are being playing tonight.
We just bring you the broadcast, and everything else that goes on around us, we really can't control pretty much.
Right. There's not much you could do in the high school sports arena. If you really want to get in the action, once again, we are in the booth right up next to these guys. We got fans running. It's probably one of the cooler nights that we've had because of the rain.
Very nice. This is when you can feel good. Over the next few months, you can start feeling good about living here in South Florida.
Whatever you want to call it, South Florida, we don't really have seasons, but it's coming close to fall on the calendar.
Yeah, fall for us.
Fall for us. It's still probably going to rain. We're still going to get some tropical storms, a couple of hurricanes, who knows, but that's what it is, and we love it.
So a fourth down situation for Hallandale, and they're going to go for it, but they're going to be backed up as they get another false start.
And that's going to cut us close to a minute on the clock. Just under a minute left in this game. Running clock, 42-point lead for the Chargers in this match up tonight here in South Florida. You're watching this broadcast on HSPN Sports. I'm Ryan Stout alongside Chris Jenkins, bringing you play-to-play. What is happening here in the Muck Bowl is what we're calling it tonight, because we had an hour delay for lightning and rain on top of the field being horrendous anyway.
Not much of a kicking game for Hallandale, so they're going to go for it on fourth down. Sipkins under center now, and he's going to take a knee. That'll kill the rest of the time as we're under 30 seconds, and this one's going to be in the books.
I can appreciate that.
Absolutely.
These guys coming out here.
Call off the dogs.
Yep. And once again, we're going to give love to the people that put this broadcast on for us tonight. PlayingTheRecruitingGame.com. StealthRating.com. The Keeping Dreams Alive Foundation, KDAFoundation.org. Analogics.com. And a big shout out to all of our streaming partners tonight. The people that made this broadcast go viral across the nation, across the globe. Bleacher.com. One of the first ones in the arena. Florida High School Football. That is FloridaHSFootball.com. And also, real quick, to mention Florida High School Football. If you follow them on Twitter, you might not be able to follow them right now because they have been put in Twitter jail. We're going to confirm that later with you, but if you don't see any tweets, live scores from those guys, it's because Florida High School Football is in Twitter jail. Don't know why. Maybe tweeted a little too much, but hey, it is what it is. Thank you for your support. FloridaVarsity.com. Taking it to the West Coast, California, High School Football America. Going back to the South, never had it so good, sports radio. And back down here in South Florida, Florida Gridiron Preps. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, you tuned in to a broadcast powered by HSPNSports.com. Games coming to you every week, whether it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Dade County, Broward County, we're going to bring you the best because these athletes deserve the best on one of the top sports broadcasting companies in the nation. And yes, I quote that. We're glad that you tuned in tonight. We thank you for all your support. Make sure you share this. It is vital for these athletes to get the necessary exposure. Regardless if they're D1, D2, all the way down to NAIA, there's some tremendous talent, not only on the field, but off the field as well. Character comes first. There's plenty of spots to be filled in college. Once again, Ryan Stout alongside Chris. Chris, any last words for the folks out there?
No, just what we expected. Hallandale squad, high-powered. They come out, put 42 points on the board. Now we'll see as they step into the big boy shoes next week how things pan out against St. Thomas. So on the other side, Stranahan falling to 1-2. They will go to Northeast and be up at their place next week. So good luck to both of these teams the rest of the way. Would surprise me if we come across them and possibly cover them again somewhere down the line. We've got plenty of broadcasts left in the season, of course.
Absolutely. Projected 19 games this year. We want to hit some goals. We got games coming to you every week. Make sure you follow us on social media at HSBN Sports, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Stay up to date with what's going on. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for tuning in tonight. We hope you have a good and blessed evening. We'll see you next week.
Gentlemen, have a good one.
You too, my friend.
Which game do you have?